You only have to look at some of the big breaches happening in the UK just this year, right? They started with, hey, look, well, attacks are commoditized now. I don't need to do that initial intrusion. I go to the dark net. I'll purchase some ready stolen credentials. Perfect. I've got a username and password. Now I'm going to hit the help desk and get them to reset the MFA token for that particular individual. Now I've owned their identity. So context and continuous authentication has got to be brought into it. It's not just, hey, is this device normal? Have we done the Superman check, right? As the IP address they logged in before, 5 minutes later, they're now logging in from New York. Because IP spoofing, that's not a big complex thing to kind of to circumnavigate anymore. I think it's also got to be those behavioral patterns. Because when you play out some of those attacks, okay, we have an identity completely owned. But can they impersonate the way that that user typically interacts with resources and what they do and the data they access? That's a lot more complex to do. And I think that's where the continuous auth has to kind of come into it so that we can say, well, actually, everything that presented up front looks good, but everything that happened afterwards, well, that's standing out and we need to react to that. I'm not saying it's the silver bullet, but I think, we have to be mindful that, attackers they know the way to get in is it's easy. Just take an identity and own it. And then you're stepping through the front door. And it's that cliche expression. I've heard security leaders say, attackers aren't breaking in anymore. They're logging in, right?